2 feet. 16 inches. 8 inches. 2 inches. Contact.
No contact.
Well, capture confirmed. And Alpha, we confirm that. We see your loading lights flashing.
Houston, capture confirmed.
Did that conversation confirming contact and capture, docking with the International Space Station at 2 p.m. Central Time as the two spacecraft 235 miles above Kazakhstan near the Kazakhstan-Russia border. Now the steering jets aboard the station are turned off, as well as the steering jets for Endeavour, and springs in the docking mechanism will dampen out any relative motion between the two spacecraft. Once that is done, then commands will be sent by the crew aboard Endeavour to retract the docking rings seen in this view from Endeavour and pull the spacecraft together, the 80-ton station and the 120-ton shuttle. Once they're pulled together, then hooks and latches will engage in the mechanism to firmly attach the two for the duration of Endeavour's stay.
Houston, Endeavour for Max coming up on 2 minutes and 20 seconds here. Looks like we have a ring aligned, and on your go, we'll do step 10.
Okay, and Endeavour, you go for step 10.
Copy, that's 2 minutes right there. In Houston, Endeavour, we've had a ring aligned for more than 60 seconds. On your go, we're ready to retract ring.
And we'll go for that.
Copy. In Houston, Endeavour, we lost the rig aligned. Pedal 2 seems to be a little slow.
Copy that.
In Houston, Endeavour, are you happy with the pedal difference?
And Endeavour, Houston is looking at it. Standby 1.
to be toggling between 4 and 5%.
And Endeavor, your go to continue just so it doesn't get any worse.
Copy.
Endeavor's crew now sending commands to begin retracting the ring, pulling them together. Once the ring is fully retracted, then hooks and latches engage in the mechanism to firmly attach the two spacecraft. Ring on the docking mechanism retracting. So that's fully complete. Then hooks and latches engage to firmly attach Endeavor to the International Space Station. Once that activity is completed, the crew will begin a full slate of activities for the remainder of their day.
Ready to hook, Houston.
And Houston concurs.
Mechanical Systems also reports the hooks are driving in the docking mechanism, all going flawlessly.
And interesting to note, Houston, as soon as the hooks start to drive, I got a interface field light blinked on and off a couple times. It's out now.
Okay, we copy that. Thanks.
Interface field, Houston.
Okay, sounds good. And Endeavor Houston, no need to reply, but the FGB and SM solar arrays are in track mode.
Hooks 1 closed.
Okay.
This
2 closed.
this is an illustration of the Endeavor's attached to the station. Endeavor about 120 20 feet long, the station about 143 feet long. To call that the station's...
Final position, Houston.
Okay, understand final position.
Alpha Endeavor.
The docking mechanism's completed its hooks and latches, firmly sealed together the two spacecraft for the duration of Endeavor's stay. Also, the solar rays on Zarya and Zvezda, the station solar rays, are now back in mode to track the sun as normal operations. And Endeavor's orientation steering jets will now control the orientation of both the station and the shuttle. All of that going well. The crew has a full slate of activities they'll move into now, beginning their stay docked aboard the station. Among those immediate activities coming up, astronauts Joe Tanner and Carlos Noriega will begin to set up the docking compartment on Endeavor and begin opening the hatches to the outermost compartment of the station. The two crews, the shuttle crew and station crew, will not actually greet one another. Hatches won't be opened fully between the two spacecraft for another 6 days until the completion of all of the 3 spacewalks planned during the
Standby for docking mech power down.
Okay.
during the coming week. However, the crew will open up the outermost hatch of the station, enter the outermost compartment, the crew of Endeavor, and leave there a couple of 12-gallon bags of water and some other equipment, such as supplies brought up for the crew, some equipment concerned with the communications assembly on the laptop computer on board the station, some other items that will be left in that compartment seen here, the pressurized mating adapter number 3, that outermost compartment of the station. For retrieval by the station crew, they'll come in and retrieve that tomorrow. When they come in and retrieve it, however, the hatches between this compartment and Endeavor will be closed again to prevent the difference in cabin pressures between the station and the shuttle from creating any problems and reducing the pressure on the station. The station pressure is designed to be maintained at a sea level atmospheric pressure. The pressure on Endeavor right now is at a pressure about 4.5 pounds per square inch lower than sea level.
Endeavor, Houston, go ahead.
We've performed the post-capture safing. We have DAPS A12 and B12 loaded. We're going to assume attitude control per the note in the flight plan.
Okay, that sounds good to us. You'll go for that.
The lower cabin pressure on Endeavor is a preparatory step for the spacewalks to come tomorrow, the first of which will begin tomorrow and continue through the week. 3 spacewalks by Tanner and Noriega aboard Endeavor. The lower cabin pressure reduces the amount of time that the 2 spacewalkers must pre-breathe pure oxygen to purge nitrogen from their bodies and prevent decompression sickness when they go to the lower pressure still of a suit. The spacesuits are pressurized at 4.3 pounds per square inch of pure oxygen. So again, Tanner and Noriega will turn their attention almost immediately to preparing to open the hatches between Endeavor and the outermost compartment on the station and transferring equipment to that compartment. Then close those hatches. They'll only be open for a couple of hours before they close them again. While on the upper deck of Endeavor, pilot Mike Bloomfield and Canadian astronaut Mark Garneau will work with the robotic arm, our Garneau at the controls of the robotic arm, to attach to the P6 truss segment the package of arrays, electronics, and batteries that is 50 feet long in Endeavor's cargo bay, to release the 6 latches holding that truss segment in the shuttle bay, lift it above the bay, and put it in...
Endeavor, Houston, go ahead.
Yes, in the TCS deactivation, the lock Z-axis latch command was sent
it's in a good config, you can just leave it there. It'll be good until we get ready to undock.
Again, Garneau will latch on to the P6 truss segment, the 35,000-pound package of arrays, batteries, and supporting structures in Endeavour's cargo bay. Release the 6 latches, holding it in place for the launch, and lift it out of the bay, putting it in a position.
We're going to go to free drift now and interconnect the right ohms to the RCS.
And you have to go for that, and just as a heads up, expect to see lower manifold pressures than you generally see in the SMS.
Okay, thanks.
Garneau will lift the truss segment out of the payload bay to a position high above the bay and at a bit of an angle to the shuttle.
We get that that interconnect established. We'll maneuver to the attitude in the flight plan. And do you want us to use the rate damping from free drift when we come out of free drift to get to that attitude? I guess I could have explained that better. We'll go free drift when we do the interconnect. And then when we come out of it, we can use that cue card that they put on the flight, which will then damp the rates and then get us into the auto maneuver to the attitude.
And Endeavour, that sounds like a good plan.
Okay, that's what we'll do.
Okay.
Garneau will lock the truss segment in place then at the end of Endeavour's robotic arm at that point above the payload bay and at an angle to the shuttle, a slight angle to the shuttle, leaving it there overnight until he resumes work with it tomorrow during the spacewalk for Tanner and Noriega, the first of their 3 spacewalks, to attach it atop the opposite side of Unity, the side of Unity opposite where Endeavour is docked, atop the Z1 truss that was attached on the last shuttle flight to the station. The P6 truss segment is being lifted out of the payload bay tonight to reduce temperatures on it and keep it cool. If it remained where it is in the payload bay, because of the orientation that the shuttle must maintain for the station while it's attached, sunlight would be shining on it almost directly on it throughout the time of each orbital daytime because of that sun angle that's required for the arrays on the station to create power for the station, and could overheat some areas of the truss segment. So by lifting it out of the bay and putting it at an angle, that reduces the time that sunlight is on surfaces acceptable to those high temperatures.
You're happy with the manifold pressures we're continuing?
That's affirmed. You can go to press on.
We're going to drop this mesh for a while. We can come back up 2100 for a quick time check or whenever it's convenient for you. Over. I understand you're going to be going offline and then you'll give us a comm check when you're backed up. So, 35 minutes, we'll just make a quick check with you. Alpha Endeavour is assuming attitude control. Copy.
This live television view as Endeavour and the International Space Station together, a 200-ton complex flies 235 statute miles above the Pacific Ocean, just moving into sunrise. This view clearly shows the position that will soon be occupied by the 50-foot-long truss segment in Endeavour's cargo bay. It will be placed vertically atop the Z1 truss structure, which here is shown with a...
See a good interconnect config, you go for attitude control.
Okay, we're putting that in work.
Here is shown with a dish-shaped communications antenna protruding from it as well that will become active for the station on the next shuttle mission, the mission that will bring the U.S. Destiny Laboratory to the station in January. Aboard Endeavour, Canadian astronaut Mark Garneau is preparing to power up the robotic arm and maneuver it into place to latch onto that truss segment, lift it out of the payload bay of Endeavour, and place it high above the bay at an angle, a position that will keep temperatures cool on it for the overnight period until Garneau resumes work with the arm tomorrow to maneuver the segment into its final position atop the Z1 truss structure visible in this view atop the Unity module of the station. This television view from Endeavour now showing the end of the mechanical arm. Again, Canadian astronaut Mark Garneau beginning work to power up that arm, preparing to release it from its latches along the left-hand edge of Endeavour's cargo bay. Garneau will then attach the arm to the 50-foot-long, 35,000-pound P6 truss segment, a package of solar arrays, batteries, and associated electronics in the shuttle's cargo bay. Lift that package out of the bay, position it above the bay at a slight angle, a position designed to keep temperatures cooler on that equipment for overnight until Garneau resumes work with it tomorrow, and guided by spacewalkers Joe Tanner and Carlos Noriega, attaches it atop the International Space Station.
Houston, we show ourselves complete rendezvous checklist, and we're going to the flight plan as the controlling document.
Okay, and rendezvous concurs with you.
Houston, we're starting to Group E power down.
Okay, we copy.
starting APCU activation for APCU 1.
Okay, we copy. And Endeavour Houston, we got a good post-docking hatch leak check, and your go for the ODS volume prep when you get there.
Houston, we copy. We're go for ODS volume prep for ingress.
That's affirmed.
This is Mission Control Houston. This live television view from the payload bay of Endeavour shows the robotic arm in view along the right-hand side of the screen, latched along the edge of the left edge of the payload bay of the shuttle. Also in view just to the left of center in this television image is the fixture on the truss segment in the cargo bay to which Garneau will attach the arm to lift that structure out of the bay over the next hour and a half.
APCU 1 is powered up. We're going to work the Group B power down.
Okay, copy that, Brent. And while I have you on the loop, just had a heads up that we wanted to pass up to you. Yesterday, during the RMS survey, we noticed with camera B that the MLI had moved on the ISS port canister, which would be the 4B masked canister. There's nothing for you to do about this. We just wanted you to be aware of it as you start to move P6 out of the payload bay. And in the execute package, there might be some words as to what we would like the EVA crew to do to reattach it if we decide to do that. We're discussing this on the ground at this time.
Okay, well, maybe Mark will take a look at it as he goes to the grapple position, just so he has a good idea what it is, and thanks for the heads up.
That's true. That's all. Just, be aware. And we just wanted you to know that as you berth it and raise it up, if you see the blanket loose, it's no problem.
And Houston for the Group B power down.
And go ahead, Bloomer.
Yeah, we're going to wait until the maneuver is complete before we do the set contraction, and we're wondering if you want us to take IMU-2 to standby.
And Bloomer, we'll go to take IMU to standby at this time.
This is Mission Control Houston on board Endeavour now with docking on time, a flawless approach and rendezvous and docking with the station. Docking occurring at 2 p.m. Central Time above Kazakhstan at an altitude of about 235 statute miles.
Bloomer, we got caught in a handover. You go to take IMU to standby.
The crew is returning straight to work on their activities docked to the complex. Underway on board, Commander Brent Jett and pilot Mike Bloomfield powered up a power converter unit that's used to allow the shuttle to supply electrical power to the station's systems while it's docked with the complex. Also now they're powering down items on board the shuttle, putting the shuttle back into a standard what's called a Group B power down. That's an electricity conserving mode done on all shuttle flights to conserve power when backup items are not needing. Basically consists of turning off backup equipment, two of the three inertial measurement units on board that are navigation equipment for the shuttle, turning off extra lights, various things to save power during routine operations for the shuttle. Elsewhere on the lower deck of Endeavour, astronauts Joe Tanner and Carlos Noriega are turning their attention to opening up the hatches, preparing the orbiter docking compartment and hatches there to open hatches between the shuttle and the station, opening their way into the outermost station compartment that will allow the crew to transfer early equipment into that outermost compartment. They'll be in that compartment for a couple of hours, attaching also some grounding straps to that newly attached compartment. It was attached on the last shuttle flight, shuttle mission sts97, and this crew will be the first people to ever enter that compartment since its attachment to the station. So they'll attach some grounding straps between it and the rest of the station modules. Leave items in there in the compartment for the station crew to retrieve tomorrow. That includes 2 bags of 12-gallon bags of water, also some computer equipment and communications headsets that will be used by the crew, and other provisions and supplies for the station crew. Again, the station crews plan to enter that compartment tomorrow. The station crews and shuttle crew will not actually greet one another until the 9th day of the mission, after the 3 spacewalks planned for the flight are completed. And the hatches between the station and shuttle will not be fully opened until that time, due to the difference in cabin pressure between the shuttle and the station. The shuttle having a cabin pressure right now about 4 pounds per square inch less than that on the station. That done as a preparation for the spacewalks to come. On the flight deck of Endeavour, Canadian astronaut Marc Garneau is preparing to power up the robotic arm and use it to capture the 35,000-pound P6 truss segment to the package of solar arrays, batteries, and associated electronics in the shuttle's cargo bay. Garneau will latch on to that structure, release 6 latches that hold it in the payload bay for launch, lift it above the payload bay, and position it at about a 45-degree angle to the payload bay. That a position where it'll be parked overnight to keep temperatures cool on the structure. If it remained in the payload bay, it would get overheated during the night. Then tomorrow, when work resumes, Garneau will lift the structure up to its position atop the International Space Station, guided by spacewalkers Joe Tanner and Carlos Noriega. Then he'll latch it into place where 8 bolts will be secured to hold it atop the station in preparation for the deploy of the 240-foot-long solar arrays at the top of that structure that will take place at the end of the spacewalk tomorrow. And again, on board, Carnot is preparing to power up the arm now and begin those activities, lifting the truss segment out of the bay to that overnight park position where it will have cooler temperatures until work resumes with it tomorrow. If it remained in the bay because of the orientation that the shuttle has to keep for the International Space Station's solar arrays, the direct sunlight would be such that some areas of the truss could become overheated. Coming up on NASA television at 3:20 p.m. Central Time, we anticipate a possibility for communications with the International Space Station via Russian ground tracking sites that would permit International Space Station Commander Bill Shepard to play back some of the video that he recorded during the rendezvous and docking of Endeavour. That video through the windows of the station using a camcorder on board. Again, we'll have about a 15-minute opportunity where that may be downlinked through Russian communication sites. That's coming up at about 3:20 p.m. Central Time. About 40 minutes or so from now. After that, then the crew's sleep period begins for the station crew. They're actually scheduled to begin their sleep period officially around 3:36 p.m. today and awaken for the next day's activities at 12:30 a.m. Central Time on Sunday.
At Endeavour Houston, we have good K-band coverage for the next 20 minutes, and we were wondering if we could use cameras B and C to look at the payload bay some.
That's fine, Houston. We're doing some reconfig on the flight deck, so we don't have everything set up for you to come aboard.
Oh, that's fine. We were going to look at the MLI back there with cameras B and C. Thanks. We'll do that.
And sorry, Houston, I was mistaken. We do have a camera. If you want to come aboard, it'd be the mid-deck camera, but it is actually positioned on the flight deck.
Okay, that sounds great. And we'll tell you before we do that. We're going to use cameras B and C, and then we'll tell you when we take the other camera. Thanks.
Okay, sure.
And Endeavor, Houston, just a football update. Navy beat Army 30-28.
All right, this turned out to be a pretty good day.
That's for sure. That was an awesome rendezvous and approach and docking.
Yeah, I just hope I saved enough in the forward for Bloomer to get the fly around.
And Endeavor, Houston, for Brent. Just for your information, you gained 85 pounds from the forward this morning during the rendezvous and approach.
Hey, this is a really great day now.
I thought that's what you might be thinking.
This television of the top of the P6 truss structure in Endeavor's payload bay.
Houston Endeavor, ODX volume prep for ingress is complete. Awaiting your go for ODM vestibule PMA3 pressurization.
Okay, we'll go.
This view looks at a...
Roger, starting ODS vestibule PMA3 pressurization.
Sounds good.
insulating blanket noticed to be a bit loose in previous payload bay survey, a television survey the payload bay conducted yesterday. It's not a concern for any activities on the P6 truss, nor any problems for its operation. That call from astronaut Carlos Noriega on the lower deck of Endeavour, working in the orbiter docking compartment, that they're ready to begin pressurizing the vestibule, the area between Endeavour and the pressurized mating adapter number 3 on the International Space Station, that prior to opening the hatches between the shuttle and the station's outermost compartment, they'll enter only the outermost compartment and store there some supplies to be picked up by the space station crew tomorrow.
the G2 set contraction is in work. We've loaded up the MBAT. We're going to select free drift and do the ops 201 for.
Okay, that looks good to us.
Houston Endeavor on vestibule PMA3 pressurization. Step 1 is complete, and we see no need for a 10-2 maintenance if you concur.
And we concur, no need at this time. We'll need one later on.
Copy.
Houston, we think the rates are low enough we can go right back to A auto burn.
Okay, and we concur. And Brent, while I'm talking to you, we would like to get DTO 257 done in the eclipse period that's coming up in 15 minutes if we can. And we would, yes, we'd like to start it in the eclipse period for power reasons.
Okay, no problem. We're just finishing up the Group B power down, and we'll be ready to start 257.
Okay.
we have a go for the air log reset?
Yes, you have a go.
Endeavor, this is Alpha, over.
Endeavor Houston, disregard the cabin message.
Go ahead, Alpha.
Roger, just wanted to set up a call to talk to you guys tomorrow. How about 1500 GMT for a quick contact up?
Stand by, checking. And Jeff, can you repeat that time?
1500 Zulu GMT for you guys. That looks like it's right in the middle of your post-sleep period.
Okay, Shep, we're showing a GMT currently of 21:02.
Correct, and we're about to start our sleep period, and then we overlap with yours. So I was thinking about a contact up when you guys get up tomorrow, which will be, your get-up time's about 13:30, so how about a contact up at 1500?
Okay, understand. Com tag up tomorrow. GMT time 15:00.
Affirmative, that's clear.
Sounds good. We'll plan on it.
Hey, well done today. Great job.
Hey, thanks a lot. It's great to be here.
Pretty awesome. David, that's all our answers got tonight.
Endeavor Houston, we would like to attend to maintenance at this time.
Okay. Okay, Carlos is looking at, and we're getting ready to start 257 as soon as we get in darkness.
Okay, thanks. And Endeavour Houston, we're finished looking in the payload bay with the cameras and wondered if we could still take you up on your offer to come in on the flight deck.
This is Mission Control Houston. This television showing the International Space Station, the Unity module, and the Z1 truss atop Unity, above which will be attached the 50-foot-long structure currently in Endeavour's payload bay of solar arrays, batteries, and associated electronics.
Come aboard on the flight deck. Houston, it's the mid-deck camera.
Okay, thanks.
Houston, we made the changes from message 15 to the procedure. We're just waiting for eclipse, and then we'll start 257.
Okay, thanks.
View as Joe Tanner scales the International Space Station up to the point where the robotic arm awaits. Also, astronaut Carlos Noriega is standing by awaiting some steps of commanding to be completed by ground controllers before he begins working with umbilical connections to start the transfer of power from the new...
We would like to see the airlock heater config. That's block A in the timeline.
Noriega standing by for that ground commanding to be completed before he begins the umbilical connections that are part of the transfer of power of the new solar arrays, batteries, and electronics to the station's modules for use. Once those commands are complete, then he'll begin disconnecting and reconnecting umbilicals for that transfer.
And Endeavour Houston for Mark, IV. Earlier we called up that all the inhibits to the EVA pad were on board. The one thing, small change, that is not, the early comm antenna is still on. And it's no problem today since we are not doing the center line camera activity. But we just wanted you to know that early comm antenna is still on.
Okay, copy, and We copy the centerline camera. Task will not be done today. And just remind us that if, for whatever reason, Joe or Carlos has to go near that area, to let us know what the keep-out zone is.
We certainly will do that.
Okay, Bloomer out of arrived. 62 or 6002. And you can bring the arm, orbiter starboard, just say 3 feet. And Bloomer is going to bring the arm, orbiter starboard 3 feet. It's on its way. See motion? Good motion. Putting that to go. Keep it coming. Looking good. 6 inches. Looking good.
This view is the
Another 6 inches. Another 6 inches. Yeah, just to make it.
robotic arm is maneuvered into place by pilot Mike Bloomfield working inside the cabin of Endeavour. This is a view from astronaut Joe Tanner's spacesuit helmet.
Okay, Mark, the crew lock bag is temp stowed and the safety tethers are being kept by it. They're led. Copy, Carl. Okay, should I proceed towards the touch panel? And Houston, Denver, how close are we getting to being able to demate 607 and 608?
Flight right now is asking that of station. We'll get an answer to you momentarily.
Copy.
This is a view from a camera at on the robotic arm, looking up at the crew members. Halfway up the 90-foot tall tower above Endeavour's payload bay.
Complete with step 7 and out of the mode.
Endeavour Houston for IV mark. EV2 is go for 607 and 608.
We wanted you to get that in work because we didn't want to hold up the
Copy, Houston. Did you copy, Carlos? I'm on my way.
enlighten you as to the whole big picture.
So go ahead.
Okay, if you have message 444 handy, the second page of that, I'm going to be talking from that.
Stand by just a sec.
Okay.
Astronaut Bill Shepard communicating with station flight controllers from inside the Unity module. Unity visible in this picture in the upper right-hand corner of the screen.
You're going to demate 607 and...
Shepard and his crew inside that module for only the second time during their over a month-long stay aboard the station thus far.
And I also got the one for the connector now. Copy.
Astronaut Joe Tanner in this view is preparing the attachment of a foot platform to the robotic arm that he'll use later during the spacewalk. Also, Tanner will be removing a thermal cover from a baseband signal processor unit.
Okay, Shep, I'm back with you. If you look at the second page of 444, the only thing that you're going to need to do today are outlined on that page. So basically, the first thing that you've done was step 1. Those are going to be complete. Your next action will be step 3 that says perform step 15, page 144 and 15, and we will be giving you a go for that. Then after that, the only thing we will require of you will be steps 4 and 5. Does that help clear up just a little bit? Alpha Houston Underground 2, I'm sorry I didn't cover that.
No, I have to roll the boot plate, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, Mark. Or yawn, actually. Copy.
ahead of you, Rick?
I have
At
about
12. And we'll verify they are large. Sorry.
That noise coming up from the ground. As long as you can hear
Good idea.
I'm looking at OCA 444 and the call for step 15 in that message. I don't have it, so we might be looking at two different versions of a message here. Can you confirm the 444 is the right one?
How's WBS working?
Yes.
Working great. We're watching.
4 is the
Right.
correct one. And
Yeah, real kudos to Jackie and the team for a really awesome show.
Wait for
You're right about that. It's performing to spec.
The next step is
Supposed to be Papa Papa, right?
3.
It is Papa Papa. All right, Foxtrot 6. It was at November.
45.
Yeah, it's definitely Foxtrot.
Book, the Node 1.
Okay. Ready to relocate.
Are we referencing the same thing?
Copy. Thing also wasn't black, Carlos. It wasn't black on black.
To the assembly and just tell me what steps you want me to work. That's probably the easiest thing to do now.
I will do that. Okay, I'm in the assembly ops book, and I'm on page 144. I'll wait till you get there.
Everything now, go ahead.
Okay, on our go, which will be a little while from now, we are going to want you to perform step 15, which is inclusive of 15.1, 15.2, and 15.3.
Okay, Mark, I'm all set up to start working on 607 and 608. Copy, we're watching. Okay. Verifying pad, APFI, APFR.
And that'll take a little while, Shep. We will give you
It's all set up.
Joe Tanner, a view from his helmet-mounted television camera as he attaches a portable foot restraint, foot platform to the end of the robotic arm.
Question that, Shep, and I'll give you an answer in a second. In the meanwhile, let me finish giving you the rest of the steps.
Okay. You're ready. And 607 is coming off at this time. Copy.
The same procedure on page 157. Let me know when you get there. Okay. And when we get to page 157, we're going to have you perform step 44.
Okay, transferring the pad safety tether to the arm. Copy.
And if you take a look at step
Well, I got a really good end-effector camera view of this.
we just want you to retrieve
We have a very good view of it, yes. And hook this line. Put the clip in it.
On 4 and reinstall. How do you copy?
Back in, is that correct?
That's absolutely right.
And it's clipped. See? Copy.
We're going to look at it, no problem with the configuration as long as we can get the connectors put that together again. We're ready to do it anytime.
Okay, Shep, and one more thing I just want to verify with you is that the procedure we're both referencing, and it sounds like it is, I just want to double check, but the title is Node 1 and G1 patch channel reconfiguration.
Okay, Mark.
And the date
Leave the next step.
13 November 00.
Since we're on the same page, we have that version.
That makes us feel so much better, Shep. Thank you, and thanks for your patience. Let us know if you have any more questions.
Endeavor Houston for IV. We are in the correct attitude at this time. We are deactivating PCU2.
Yeah, we copy. All right, Mark, connecting the spare on the pad safety tether to my tether extender.
We are.
Yeah, we see that. If I got a good lock. Transferring my waist tether
See if you get the message you were.
over to the pad safety tether. Thanks, and verify good lock. We'd like to ask a couple more questions about patch panel. Releasing orbiter safety tether.
Okay.
And Carlos, this pad safety tether doesn't have any red showing. Okay, that's good. Although I just noticed my orbiter safety tether has about a less than a half inch you're showing. In arm. I thought that was supposed to be there. Oh, okay, well, good. Then it is. More related to Shep's OCA message 44, is that right? All right, now all I have left to do is unlock this reel, Mark. I'm looking at step right, Bloomer, you're ready to move.
Okay, step 7.
And Bloomer is ready to move. All right, now, based on what I've been hearing, I think I can do HDBSP, is that correct? Step 7. Yes, you do have the time.
It shows that the power panel reconfig for SHEP per message 444, and actually done the panel removal.
Okay, Carl. Yeah, just so you know, okay, Mike, getting these caps on with their two rubber seals is not a trivial. Yeah. Kind of thought that might be the case. Secondary. Okay, Mark, I'm tethered to the ground strap. 17.3. Get the happy jump. Those just don't make sense. I see you moving, Bloomer, in your clear structure.
And Brent, I understand what you're saying.
And you probably got a really good B and C camera view anyway.
Where it says step 15. Sorry, we didn't catch that earlier.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so that's on that. That's for his. Okay, the cold plate is in good shape. 44, right?
That is affirmative.
Copy.
And Brent, we're showing the warning.
I'll try to keep it that way.
You get the same on your caution and warning.
Copy. Here's that wire tie Davey Moore talking about. And while we're acknowledging people, we ought to acknowledge him, huh? Boy, what a job. Yeah, Davey did a great job throughout the whole period of getting ready. Wouldn't be here without him. Is that the worst? I agree. Yeah. That we were expecting.
Okay, that's one good thing for people.
C1 storage back. And Carlos, I see you working with the protective covers. Yep, I got them closed up. Let's see, you can always fit more in a suitcase if you fold it first, right? Usually true. The shroud's pretty stiff. Are they?
This is a view of astronaut Carlos Noriega at work at a
Houston at about 2 foot. Plenty of room. Leroy, what are you talking about? We're trying to figure out what to do with Carlos on the VA, and Mark 607, 608.
Noriega at work detaching umbilicals.
Copy, Carlos, and we're checking on whether it's best for you to go to the DDCU heat traps or to start with patch panel reconfiguration. Okay, still got a couple minutes of cleanup here. Okay.
Deact.
That's plan work. Worked great. Good. That's good information. Thank you.
Okay, and I'll make that call to Alpha because they did ask the same question. Alpha, Houston, air to ground 2.
Houston Alpha copies that. I understand we're
About 10 minutes out, Jeff.
We will have to work a little bit to get those next two shrouds in here, though. And Carlos, we're...
This is now a view as
being able to do
astronaut Joe Tanner removes a
so it's your call on whether you want to go there or go up and do some of the...
heat pipe thermal shroud, basically a blanket from the heat pipe held on by Velcro straps and a grounding pin that he's had to remove, and then storing it in a stowage bin on the outside of the station.
Stowage bin is closed. What? Copy. What's next? Well, you can start your work on faster relocation, or you can, if you feel you can do some of the initial steps in faster relocation, or do some DDCU heat shrouds. Okay, well, I'll help
whipsaw Carlos a little bit and get the ones that are on my side.
This view from Joe Tanner's helmet-mounted camera looking up the newly attached 50-foot tall truss. Tanner's about halfway up from the payload bay of Endeavour up the 90-foot structure towering above the shuttle.
This must look really crazy, but it actually works, Mark. I believe you. This whole shroud here, what do you think? Yep, I'll be there in a couple minutes, but you can do the other one. Any help is appreciated. You haven't started the clock on Sassy yet, right? That's there's a gimbal.
This is a still image now fed by a television camera aboard Endeavour. This is a view of Carlos Noriega at work
It's still happy.
in the process of disconnecting and connecting umbilicals. The process to set up the transfer of power from the newly arrived solar arrays, batteries, and electronics to the International Space Station's modules and systems.
Comm hits for the next 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, Mark, if you got WVS, there's a photo of the K5. Actually, you got so much reflection you probably can't see much. So actually we can. Houston Endeavour, air to ground 1.
And Endeavour, Houston is listening.
Hey, Shannon, while we're working this patch panel procedure and stuff, if you catch anything that we don't get in the timeline, don't hesitate to call us, because we don't really have anybody tracking that real close.
Okay, we'll watch for you, Brent.
Okay, Mark, I'm all cleaned up. I've left one adjustable tether on the fuse tether, and I took the other adjustable tether on my mini workstation.
Copy, Carlos. And you're heading up for the DCCU shrouds.
Affirmative.
That communication between astronaut Carlos Noriega and Mark Garneau, Garneau inside the shuttle's cabin acting as the choreographer for the two spacewalkers from inside the cabin, indicating that Noriega now is going to head up higher on the International Space Station to begin another task of removing a thermal cover, a blanket around a direct current to direct current converter unit. Finishing his work with the reconfiguration of power cables between segments of the International Space Station. He'll return to that work again later in the spacewalk a couple of times as commanding takes place both inside Unity by the station crew, on board Endeavour by the shuttle crew, and also primarily from the ground here, space station flight controllers to complete process through the length of the EVA that will transfer power from the arrays, batteries, and electronics to the station systems.
All right, I think I've made enough room for you, Carlos. You get it in okay. Okay, thanks.
Again, Noriega's task now to remove thermal blankets from a direct current to direct current converter unit up higher on the station, while his fellow spacewalker, astronaut Joe Tanner, begins the first part of relocating S-band antenna from a point on the Z1 truss about 40 feet up the 90-foot tower above Endeavour to its higher point almost at the top of that 90-foot tower above Endeavour's payload bay. We now have live television again. This view as Carlos Noriega works with a thermal shroud, again removing that from a direct current to direct current power converter unit on the station's Z1 truss. Noriega is working at a point about 40 feet above the payload bay of the shuttle.
The mirrors all look like they're in real good shape. I think I'll roll it when I get away from here so I don't take a chance of scratching this. Yeah. Actually, I see, take a look at that one segment. Oh yeah, there is a scratch right there. There's one there, and then there's one over here, closer to me. From where you're looking at about the 10:30, 11 o'clock position, about 5 or 6 segments. Mark, do you see this one right here?
We did see it for a brief instant. If you'd move a little bit around so we could maybe catch it. And Joe, are you looking at it? No, you're at the other one, are you?
No, I can see it too.
Okay, we're sending your picture to the ground at the moment, Joe, so if you can point towards it.
I can't reach it.
Is it the same one that Carlos is talking about?
No, we got 2 of them. Okay, this is one here. Yeah, he's pointing at one. The other one, I don't know if you can, maybe you don't have the right
we
angle.
can't pick that up
I
at the moment.
can't see the other one, too. Yeah, you got to be at the right angle. Okay. Looks like there's an impact, a point impact on it at one point. Yeah.
And would you describe, could you assess its depth and circumference?
Yeah, the impact is about the diameter of a ballpoint pen head.
Okay.
Then it's got a scratch emanating just about a 16th of an inch out one direction, then another scratch that's almost an inch long. It's real small. I mean, you can't even see that unless the light's just right.
Okay.
Just the impact.
We see just how shiny those cold plates are.
Yeah.
These
you all work with.
this view, the reflective, almost mirror-like surfaces on the P6 truss are cold plates that provide cooling for the electronics associated with the power generation equipment.
still working on steps.
reflected in it.
And just as we're speaking, we're ready for Raccoon D. So this is a heads up for you and Alpha that we are giving a go to deactivate Raccoon 6.
Astronaut Joe Tanner reflected in those surfaces as well as the outstretched array.
On page 144 and 145, steps 15.1 and 2.3. And I'll let you know when we have a definite confirmation that Raccoon 6 will come out again.
We copy and...
And Joe, right now you are, or rather Carlos, you're stowing the DDCU shroud in the storage bin. That's affirmative. And after that, Carlos, it looks like a good idea for you to head towards the patch panel. I will. And Joe, just to keep up to date, have you put the ACBSB shroud in the storage bin? Yes, I have. Copy. So one of the DDCU shrouds is still on, I assume. No, they're both off. Yeah, you can show that task complete. All right. Okay.
I have the flap on NASA open. Looks like nighttime's coming, Thomas. Yep. And I see two gimbal bolts. Gimbal lock bolts here. And I'm going to pull out my tool. And let's see, talk me through it here. Hey, Joe, do you think I'm really going to be able to shove it in there deep? No, I think you're just going to have to put it in that open hole there. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to shove it in deep. I couldn't get it in. I got it packed pretty tight.
And just to confirm, we still have one more DDCU shroud to go. Is that correct?
Negative. Negative. Job is done.
Okay, this is both of them?
Both of them, yep.
Okay, excellent.
My cal pass. Fidelity check. All right, numbers, Mark.
A5, counterclockwise 2, 23.5.
Houston, we show Raccoon 6 down. All verified. 3.5 turns?
And
That's correct, 3.5 turns.
15.1, 0.2, and 0.3.
And Carlos, we lost your WVS picture again. If you could check your button.
Okay. Yeah, it's a tight fit in there, isn't it? Yep, sure is.
Houston Endeavor, can you confirm that we have a go for the Nader patch panel?
And that's affirmative. You have a go to reconfigure the patch panel. 4 Bravo Z1 patch panel.
And we copy.
Power to the station. Okay, switch bin is closed, Mark. I'm heading to the patch panel.
Very good. And Houston Endeavor, can you confirm that we have a go to proceed with NASA relocation?
Stand by 1, Mark.
Carlos and Joe, sunset in 2 minutes.
All right. Good. It's a great tool, you know? I really like it.
What you talking about, the BGT?
Yeah.
It is.
You need to watch it. You have to be careful. Your top will slip out of detail fairly easily. Yeah, but it tells you what happened. Okay, okay. Good.
Endeavor Houston, you have a go for SASA relocation.
All right, that's great news. You heard that, Joe?
I did. And I've released both bolts, and I'm going to rotate them here in a second. First, I'm going to raise my visor. Yeah, you can probably see it out of W2. Okay, Mark, I am at patch panel.
Very good. Confirm you're at the Nader patch panel, Z1005 for Bravo.
Z1005 has cable whiskey 10 on it.
That's exactly what we're looking for, and your first step, you have a go for it, is to remove the cover on J3.
That's in work. Mark, I went 3.5 turns, but I'm going to have to go at least another half turn, if that's okay with everybody. 3.5 didn't quite do it.
And Houston Endeavor, did you copy? Joe has to do an extra half turn to unfasten the right gimbal lock fasteners on the SASA.
And Endeavor Houston, we copied that. Thank you.
This view showing the power tool that
Joe
is used by spacewalkers as Joe Tanner works on removing the S-band antenna
The cap is removed.
that he will reposition atop the 90-foot tower above Endeavor's payload bay. Removing that antenna from a point currently on the Z1 truss, a point where it's attached at present about halfway up that structure, actually a little less than halfway, about 40 feet or so up that structure. It'll be repositioned after he detaches it from its current location. Tanner will mount a foot platform at the end of the arm and be raised up to a point on the P6 truss, hand off the antenna to his fellow spacewalker, Carlos Noriega, and then through handoffs they will move it up to a point near the top of the 90-foot structure for reattachment at that location.
Well, this could be a real hitch in our get along here. Okay, the pins look good. The sockets are clear on J3.
Copy, Carlos.
Good saw stock. And J3 has made it, putting the cap on J2.
Copy. And Joe, can you confirm that you were able to rotate the right gimbal locks away from the high gain antenna?
Not yet. And I have plenty of turns. I think I know what the problem is. I hope. Okay. Think.
Are you saying you've made quite a few turns, but the fasteners are still on?
Yeah, right now they're still on, but I have enough turns to rotate it. The block that is between the high gain antenna and the main housing is spring loaded in just a little bit, and all I need to do is get it to come out just a little bit, and I'll be able to rotate. That's the problem, I do believe.
Okay, so there's an obstruction to the rotation.
Yeah, it's just the way that. And Mark, can you verify you have sufficient WBS of the Nader patch panel incomplete here?
Okay, we're just going to, it looks pretty good. Let us close down the iris a little bit, and we'll have a good picture of it.
All right. Okay, Mark, here's the situation I think we're going to have to do here. I cannot rotate these. They're loosened, and we're not going to be able to rotate them until the other side is loosened. But Carlos has confirmed in training that he can reach them.
Okay, we'll leave that till later.
And Houston agrees with that analysis.
And Houston, did you copy what EV1 said? And Carlos, stay there for a second. We just want want to get you to tilt your head down a little bit.
And you said that dummy connector, where was it?
Yeah, that's excellent. Thanks, Carlos.
The patch spanner was not on J3.
And Endeavor Houston for IV, we've been copying EVA's plan, and we concur.
Copy. Okay, Joe, we'll take care of that later.
All right. That's okay. They'll probably be happier because they'll all be engaged on the way up now. To keep it from, that's right. Laser block won't rotate out of the way.
On the starboard, on the...
Makes sense? Yeah.
Okay, we copy that, Shep. We're checking.
I'm going to go back to the 3.5 turn point because I want to... Okay?
Okay, Carlos, I would say at this point you're going to head up towards the place where you're going to do your safety tether swap.
Okay, I think I need to grab the camera right now, right?
That's correct. And given that it's Joe is proceeding along quite smoothly and it's dark, I think we're going to hold off on the visual examination of the blanket boxes at this point. I think the best thing, Carlos, is for you to proceed with the original plan and to be ready for the handoff.
That makes sense to me. Okay, you should rotate just fine, Carlos, when we get it up there. Okay. I'm going to put this other one back a half turn where it was. Oh, I'm glad we played with these earlier, you know? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm closing the access shroud. Mark?
Say again, Joe, please.
Close the access shroud, the little hole.
Okay, copy.
All right. While you're there, Carlos, make sure I don't kick anything like this. Okay. Yeah, you want to hold here long enough to... Did you get in the pier phone? You know, that wouldn't be a bad idea if you got a minute. Yep. I'm going to do the connectors first. I'll just move a little farther out of your way. I don't want this. Or do I? That's an interesting case.
Okay, Joe, once again, you are go for connector demate.
Alright. Here it is. Actually, Joe, I could go do my tether swap and come back.
Yeah, just...
Oh, you almost there? I'm down the connectors now. If I just keep in this orientation, I'm going to be just fine, aren't I?
But you're good to press on.
Yep. Okay, Mark, refresh my memory what I'm supposed to do here.
You're going to remove the cable connector covers from Z1 and temp stow them.
Okay, I'll do one at a time. And Joe, I didn't copy. Do you want me to wait or no? I think I'm okay. That's it. Do I look okay? You look okay. Huh? Okay, black on black, right?
3 hours, 45 minutes into the spacewalk by show Tanner and Carlos Noriega now as they have topped out the station, attaching an evergreen tree.
How many weeks total they work on this thing? Not very many.
Carlos, can you take your left camera and tip it up?
Attaching a floating potential probe.
Before IV Mark, can you pass along to Carlos and Joe that construction workers everywhere would be very proud of them today.
Carlos,
Thank
hand
you.
right just a bit.
It's an honor to be considered among them.
Nice shot.
Looks beautiful.
Carlos, you going to be able to get to Phil's request?
Yep, I'm doing that next.
Okay, we're going to go back to the 3-5 on the center.
Okay, I'm putting away the F5. Actually, let me do Bill's request. Let me get one shot of Joe real quick here.
Shuttle in the station in the early morning above the Southern Pacific, just to the east of the islands of Indonesia.
Hey, Joe, look down this way. Oh, you're going. I think you're going for a great shot. Not really, but it's a great shot. All right. It was that one down there that was unlocked before, right, Carlos? The beta gimbal. It's forward port. Station forward port. Yeah, on the starboard array, the port array was over here. The one that was partially engaged. It would be the farthest one below you. Yeah. Okay, well, first I want to get out of the safety of far. But I want you to watch do it. Okay. Because it's kind of hard to get out of it, as I recall. Okay. Yeah. You need a hand? Okay, your both feet are free. All right. Okay. You're good. Beautiful sight.
And Endeavor Houston from Mark IV, just as a reminder to Joe and Carlos, before they leave the top up there, we would like pictures of the 4-bar linkage lock, and then after that, they'll go to do the WIS antenna task, and then RTD task, and then any photo documentation that they desire.
Copy Shannon, and they've already been talking about getting the 4-bar.
Okay.
Carlos, we got a good shot down the IEA, and we can see most of the FGB and the node. So if you could probably, I don't know if you can do this or not, but tilt your head up a little bit, or else we can go to the 6.5 and we can try just using a little bit right.
About as high as I can tilt.
Okay, that's a real nice shot of the orbiter. Let me try the 6 if you can just hold that.
All right.
Now, Carlos, I think the 3.5. If you could move your head to the right at all, that would help a little bit. But we understand if you can't.
I can go to a different position, and that'll help.
I'm wondering if you could get towards the forward face of the IEA.
Okay. Yeah, if I want to go that way in a minute anyway.
Okay. And fit in the 4-bar linkage whenever you think it's fit.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to translate around to get a better shot at maybe both of them without interference. And why don't you call me when you come back? Okay, that's good. Wow. Another moment. Looking straight down at the service module on the SBB with the aft radiator.
And if you see any land, you're sort of between Australia and I think Papua New Guinea.
Okay. Okay, Brent, how's this?
That's great. We see the orbiter very well, and I'll just close the iris down a little bit. That's great. Hold that if you can.
That's a great shot, Carlos. Flight is very happy. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, let me know you.
9 stories above the Space Shuttle Endeavour from the helmet of astronaut Carlos Noriega.
This gives us a great idea of just how high up you guys are.
It gives me a great idea of how high I am.
I bet.
Yeah, it's a long way down there, that's for sure.
Yeah, even the arm looks far away. Okay, thanks very much.
The shuttle and station also 235 miles above the northeast coast of Australia.
All right, now this is also better lighting condition for this picture.
Carlos, did you by any chance bump your TV power?
I might have. I was getting my visor. Okay, I got it back on. And if it doesn't come on, I might have double bumped the button.
Okay, try it again, please.
Okay.
This is a still image now. You above the Shuttle Endeavour, 9 stories above the shuttle.
Now, Joe, are you going to go look at both of them? Oh, you're already online, aren't you?
Yeah.
Did you think about my idea?
Yeah, I will think about it. And I'll do it if I can.
Maybe with a tether. Don't want to put your finger on it.
Yeah. I just did. It doesn't feel very low.
Okay.
2 astronauts are approaching 4 hours into this, their 3rd spacewalk of the week.
Okay, Mark, what's next for me?
Let me just check with Joe. Joe, have you been photo documenting the 4-bar linkages? I'm about to take the first picture right now. Okay, and Carlos, are you near to any of them?
To get to the one that Joe's at, I would have to shoot the gap between the shaft and the radiator, and since he's already there, I'd rather not.
Okay, I agree with that. Basically, at this point, we need to take APFRs down to Z1 as part of our cleanup, but we have a couple of WIS antennas to do, and also the sticker RTDs. There is a WIS antenna on the P6. That's possibly something you could do at this point.
Yeah, why don't I go do that?
Okay. And you know where that one is?
One P6?
Yes.
Big time.
On board Endeavour, the crew passed just approaching 4 hours into this, the 3rd spacewalk of the week. All the activities going very well. The crew well ahead of schedule, completing their first primary objective, repairing the tensioning mechanism on the starboard solar array blanket in only about half the time that had been allotted for that task. That blanket in pristine condition now, and completing the other 2 tasks, installing a centerline camera cable for use on the next shuttle flight, and floating potential probe, equipment that will measure the electrical environment around the station. All completed at this point. They're turning their attention to get-ahead tasks. Those get-ahead tasks include installing some antennas for the wireless instrumentation system on the station, and further preparations for the assembly missions to come.
Okay, Mark, if I could get settings from you.
Okay, I'm sorry, Carlos. A3, counterclockwise 223.5.
A3, counterclockwise 2.
And 23.5 for your MTL, and of course there are 4 bolts, and you can expect 12 turns.
Okay, A6, counterclockwise 2. I'm sorry, A3, counterclockwise 2.
That's correct.
And 23.5. That's going to work. Not goofing off up here, Mark. I'm just trying to get the right view and good lighting on these.
Understand completely. I think these are very important photographs for future missions.
Yeah, this couple of them are a little dark because of the shadows, but the sun's behind me right now, and you got to look right at it to get a view into it. So however you look at it, it's only going to be shadows.
Well, take as much time as you need in case it does improve.
I've got a really good shot of the starboard array farthest forward, port forward latch not in. I got a great shot of that. So, yeah, they look the same on both sides. The first picture I took was of that corner. The second picture I took was of the port array, the starboard, the port array with the port aft latch also. And the third picture I took was the other side of. I'm going to tie it around too. But I know what I can draw a picture. Copy. Both sides look the same. It's not like one of them is out of adjustment, the other one isn't. They're both the same on both sides.
Okay, copy.
Well, that's just not fully engaged.
Copy.
New Zealand. Okay, Mark, I've front stowed the antenna back with one screws, but it's now flipped down. The way Joe described it.
Yes, I remember that very well, and it's going to be stowed in that position.
That's the stowage position.
Copy, excellent.
Endeavour Houston for IV Mark.
Go ahead, Hannah.
We're planning on reactivating the early comm antennas. We just like you to advise Joe and Carlos to stay out of that area. We don't see them getting in that area, but just heads up, stay out of there.
Copy, we'll pass that on.
Thanks.
Joe and Carlos, did you copy?
Yeah, I did. Copy. Another thing I noticed here, one of these big double-aught gauge cables opened up your TA clamp, probably during a rotation. Is that right? No, it doesn't rotate. No, it's okay. All right, well, I've kind of put it out of the way over and tucked it behind lift 40 so it doesn't go against that TA clamp and doesn't change the curvature of the cable much, Mark, and I don't think anybody's going to be upset about that.
Okay, copy. Carlos, since you've developed the expertise with those RTDs, how do you feel about doing the starboard RTD?
No, I get that one. Joe said he wanted to try naps today.
Okay, all right. Everybody's got to get a little bit of that action.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, then there's
location?
Still one other WIS antenna, which is on Z1, of course.
How about I go ahead
and there's bringing back those APFRs and sortie cleanup.
Okay, how about if I start picking up the PFR now then?
Copy.
Okay, I'm by E6, was it 31?
Affirmative.
Where does this one go?
It's going to go to Z10, Z110.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me the settings for that over there?
Okay. Are you there now?
Yes.
It's Sierra Delta 1.
Sierra Delta 1, okay?
Good copy.
Watching live television from a camera mounted on the spacesuit helmet of astronaut Carlos Noriega as he removes a articulating portable foot restraint, foot platform that the crew had been using at the top of the station to move it back to the stowed location.
NDL, don't they?
Aren't those guys great though?
Couldn't do without them.
Yeah.
Noriega is complimenting his training team in the 6 million gallon swimming pool here in Houston, the primary facility used for training for spacewalk.
Kurt Carlton. Boeing.
Oh yeah.
David Moore, Boeing. Rob Johnson, Army. Awesome guys, help us get this payload ready to go.
Yep.
How about the radio? It's been awesome, huh?
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah, those guys are wanting to do a great job here. Let's not forget WBS.
WBS.
And all their people.
Yep. All the USA folks have got our suits ready. Thank you very much. Mine's great.
Mine feels great too.
Okay, standing by for you to head on down, then I'll follow you, Colonel.
Okay, I'm rearranging this PFR right now. It's probably going to be easier here.
We already talked about all the Tulsa folks, Matt Sheets and all the Tulsa folks to put this stuff together. Great job.
Station and shuttle 235 miles above the southern Pacific now.
I reached one of my other goals too, by the way. So, what's that? Camera.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
No, I'm not there yet, but I didn't start anywhere near as early as you did.
Yeah, head start.
Noriega putting the foot platforms into their stowed position to await use by future spacewalking crews.
Thanks to our crewmate.
Yep.
Got it, sir.
And you thanked yours the other day, and I didn't because I thought we were only talking kids.
Oh.
But I need to thank my wife, Wendy.
Yeah. Nice recovery. You guys have a nice camera C view. Of course, there's a few people in mission control that Glenda and John.
Oh, yeah. I was saving
John Ray.
Yeah. I was saving them for last.
Yeah, John Hainsley. I don't know what I'd say about him. We spent how long? 3.5 years with that guy?
Yeah. They put up with me the whole time.
Wrote all our procedures, rewrote them, and rewrote them again last night.
Thanks, John. Their task lead and then our front room person, Glenda. It's been awesome. Capable of working 3 things at one time. Yeah, John Ray. Great team, huh? Yeah. Tracy, who taught us all about the suit? Tracy Joe, yeah. Okay, Mark, I'm on my way to PS4. Copy.
Crew cleaning up and doing some get-ahead tasks, tasks that would have had to be performed on the next shuttle flight. One of those is installing RTDs, basically temperature sensors on the starboard early cooling system radiator that will be deployed once the U.S. lab has been attached to the station.
Yeah, I got a good visual on it too.
Additional task will be to install some wireless instrumentation system, small cone-shaped antennas on portions of the station, that part of the system that sends...
neighbors, what do you guys think? Yeah. Are you planning to pick up the air comes right now, Joe? Or are you going to come back up for them? I think I'll probably just pick them up. Check if I need to do a tether swap now? Yeah. Okay, Mark, if we can, let's do the settings for the next location. This is the one without the thermal plate that needs to go on the Z102.
That's affirmative, and it's going to be Mike Golf 8.
Endeavor Houston for IB.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Okay, we heard the guys starting to do a tether swap. We would like for them to bring in the 2 safety tethers that they were having a problem with. They can pick them up at their convenience.
Okay, Joe will bring those back in rather than leaving them on the node slide wire.
And Endeavor Houston, Mark, while I'm talking to you, we'd also like the broken caddy brought in whenever they come in.
Every copy.
Okay, I see a good triple tether, Mark. Unless you can see it.
And I can.
Okay. Verify the click is closed. I'm unlocking the orbiter rail. I'm transferring my waste tether.
And I see that?
So I have a good double tether.
You do.
Okay, and I'll leave that here for Joe.
That's a good plan.
Actually, now that they're, I'll just leave it. I got the crew lock back to mess with still.
Oh, you think about bringing it in? Yourself?
Yeah.
And from a timing point of view, Carlos, maybe after you've relocated your APFR, you could do that other wisp antenna.
Okay. Okay, Mark, this one goes to Z110, you said, right?
This one goes to Z110.
It's on the port side.
And Carlos, maybe you could just tighten your BRT a little bit.
Yes, man. It's a little tighter there. Okay, Mark, I have the APFR.
Copy, Joe.
Going by the radiator, but now that it's deployed, it's not as big a deal.
And Joe, are you going to do the RTDs first, or go to the safety tether swap?
Go to the RTD, I think.
That sounds good.
It's right there.
The television view of astronaut Carlos Noriega as he descends the 90-foot tower above Endeavour's payload bay, moving equipment to put it away that the crew has used during their
Clocking of 3.
Clocking of 3, okay.
crew has used during their 3 spacewalks performed this week.
This baby rotated out there just nice, didn't it? When we get done, come on back up here, Carlos. Put a little more torque on this bolt. All right. They put it to the 9 foot though. Really? Yeah, it's kind of loose. That's up. Maybe that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the setting was...
Okay, well, I rotated it around and it's jammed in there a little bit better now. It's not going anywhere. It's okay. Okay, starboard radiator, RTD. Okay, black on black, full test, no gap.
Copy, Carlos. The other Z1 antenna is located on Z1 starboard forward nadir.
Looks like we're going to have some more Captain Tate souvenirs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's steamers, what restraints right there. Okay, I got both the RTDs removed, and the piece of tape that was holding the RTD itself down is still on. See, around the outline of the RTD is still on there, and that's no big deal. Because it might strip off eventually, but...
Okay, we copy, Joe.
That came off pretty nice. becoming debris, I'm going to take it off, put it in my trash bag. What's that? That Kapton tape. It's just coming off real easy. Oh, I took it all off yesterday. Oh, okay. Well, good. Then I'm in family. I'm getting there, Mark. It's a little tedious is all.
Yeah, I think it took Carlos quite a bit of time to bring that cable under control.
I'm peeling off all the tape is all.
No, copy.
Sure, it's hard to get those BRT's edge on a handhold.
Yeah.
They don't work as good that way. Yes. Okay, Mark, A3 counterclockwise to 23.5.
You got it.
And Endeavor Houston for Mark, IV.
Go ahead, Shannon.
You guys doing so well. We had one more thing that if you have time, we'd like for Carlos to do. From where he is, if he has time, if he could look at the X3 connector on PMA2, that is between pedals 2 and 3 on the port nadir, and just take a still or a video of that connector. You all did the RMS survey this morning, but the resolution wasn't all that good, and we thought since he's closer, we might get a better picture.
Heading alignment cylinder, an imaginary cylinder created by a microwave scan beam landing system at the runway to align with runway 15.
Endeavor Houston, take air data.
Roger, take air data.
That call that the crew can use information gathered from air data probes deployed on either side of the nose of the spacecraft to update the navigation information on altitude and airspeed using barometric pressure and wind speed. "82 miles to touchdown now. Endeavor altitude 88,000 feet. Speed 1,800 miles per hour, or about 2.5 times the speed of sound. banking to the left at about 36 degrees. Six and a half minutes to touchdown. Endeavour speed 1,200 miles per hour, just under twice the speed of sound, altitude 72,000 feet, 48 miles to touchdown on runway 15, 5.5 minutes to the predicted touchdown. Endeavour's wings leveling now as it heads toward the heading alignment cylinder, an imaginary cylinder created by the microwave scan beam landing system at the landing site.
We see you on energy approaching the hack. New surface winds are 140 at 7, peak 9er. New altimeter 30.07. And Endeavour. And nominal shoot deploy.
Copy, go for nominal shoot.
That call that Endeavour's right on track is right on its right speed as it approaches the heading alignment cylinder. Again, it will perform a left 256-degree overhead turn around that imaginary cylinder created by the microwave scan beam landing system at the runway to align with runway 15. Also, Endeavour will do a standard drag chute deploy after its touchdown. This a view through the heads-up display for Commander Brent Jett. Jett now in manual control of Endeavour's flight. Endeavour subsonic, speed now 570 miles per hour. 22 miles to touchdown. Endeavour's beginning to bank in its left overhead turn. Again, a 256-degree turn to align with runway 15. Banking to the left at 40 degrees. 19 miles to touchdown, altitude 32,000 feet.
Endeavour Houston, on at the 180.
Copy, on at the 180.
180 degrees to go to align with runway 15 as we watch a live view from the commander's point of view. The heads-up display. Altitude 23,000 feet. $21,000 feet.
Endeavour, on at the 90.
Copy, on at the 90.
Altitude 18,000 feet. 2 minutes to touchdown at runway 15. 90 degrees left to go to align with the center of the runway. Endeavor's wings angled 35 degrees to the left. It continues around the left turn.
Endeavor Houston, roger.
This is a view now of runway 15 as Endeavor begins its final descent to the runway. A descent 19 times as steep as a commercial airliner's descent to the runway. 8,000 feet. This is a view from the ground of Endeavor. Altitude 6,000 feet. About 1 minute now to touchdown. $4,000 feet. 3,000 feet. 2,000 feet. This is a live view from on board of the runway. Landing gear down and locked. Touchdown. Main gear touchdown for Endeavor. Drag chute deployed. Nose gear touchdown. Endeavor rolling out, completing a 4.4 million mile mission that has spread the wings of the International Space Station.
Endeavor Houston, roger, will stop. Outstanding job, welcome back. We have no post-landing deltas. We'll meet you on page 5-3.
Okay, Gus, we'll meet you on 5-3. Convoy Commander CDR.
Endeavor Houston, verify UHF selected on ATUs.
Sorry, Gus, we turned it off because of the noise. We got it back on. Convoy Commander CDR. NCC CDR, contact.
Endeavor Houston, for Brent, on page 5-8, we are ready for rad reconfig.
Copy 5-8, rad reconfig. And Houston, ET umbilical doors are coming open.
Endeavor Houston, Roger Mike, we are watching.
Ammonia A is coming second.
Endeavor Houston, Roger. Endeavor Houston, for Mike, on 5-5, the high load test will not be required.
Copy, no high low test tonight.
This is Mission Control Houston as we watch a television of Endeavor on the runway at the shuttle landing facility in Florida. Some unofficial times for Endeavor's touchdown this afternoon. Main gear touchdown for Endeavor came at 5:03 and 25 seconds Central Standard Time, or 10 days, 19 hours, 57 minutes, and 25 seconds after the shuttle's launch from Florida.
Endeavor Houston, we copy all.
Nose gear touchdown followed nose gear touchdown followed main gear touchdown by down.
Endeavor Houston, Roger, and Brent, we are pulling the room for Ops 9.
About 9 seconds later, nose gear touchdown coming at 5:03 and 34 seconds Central Standard Time, or 10 days, 19 hours, 57 minutes, and 34 seconds after Endeavor's launch. And wheel stop came at 5:04 and 20 seconds Central Standard Time, or 10 days, 19 hours, 58 minutes, and 20 seconds after Endeavor's launch.
Endeavour Houston, on 5-6, we are go for DPS transition to GNC9.
Copy, go for DPS transition GNC9.
Crew's transitioning the onboard flight control computers to the software now for post-landing activities.
Endeavour Houston for Mike, on 5-7, we are go for SSME repositioning.
Copy and work.
This is Mission Control Houston. In just a few moments, we'll begin replays of Endeavour's landing at the shuttle landing facility, as seen from various cameras around the Kennedy Space Center and from views on board through the heads-up display. All those coming up on NASA television in just a few minutes. Replays of the landing of Endeavour at the Kennedy Space Center, that occurring at 5:04 p.m. Central Time tonight.
Endeavour Houston on 5-9. Mike, we are ready for APU hide shutdown as written.
Okay, Mike's going to APU hydraulic shutdown. Houston.
Endeavour Houston for the commander. You have a go to DOF suits.
Copy, thank you. Houston, APU hide shutdown is complete.
Endeavour Houston, roger.
Houston, PCSD, act and work.
Endeavour Houston, roger. And Brent, when you get there in the middle of the page, we are go for extended power up.
Copy, go for extended power up. Houston, GPS power down complete.
Endeavour Houston, say again your last.
GPS power down complete on 5-10.
Copy. GPS power down complete. Thank you.
And Houston, post landing MPS reconfigs in work.
Endeavour, we copy Mike.
And Houston, we're ready for the Ventura approach position on your call.
Endeavor Houston, Mike, we are go for that on 511.
Copy and work. Here comes the RCS Ohms valve test.
Endeavor Houston, we're watching.
Israel 514, here comes the restraint to TPT-1.
Endeavor Houston, roger, stand by 1. Endeavor Houston, we are ready for that on 5-14.
And what?
You know, if they see. Yes, I can. How are you? Oh, thank you very much, sir. Positive news from Pfizer. Merck will be having their analyst meeting tomorrow. Financials, drug sector. certainly until... Well, you know, last week, if you spoke to them, they basically were saying, you know what, we're seeing this rally on the expectation that George W. Bush is going to be the next president here. And then, of course, we got hit with that court ruling from the Florida Supreme Court, which kind of threw everything into disarray. Basically, the feeling is now down on the floor that they feel pretty confident that George W. Bush will be the next president, that the Supreme Court's going to come out with a ruling in favor of his side. With that said, you have to remember that probably, and this is not scientific, but I'd say most of the people down there that I meet on the floor are Republicans, so take that for what it's worth, Deborah. But at the same time, they say, if in fact we do see a Bush victory, some of the folks that I spoke to say, if they see the ability to sell and take their profits, they're going to do so, even with that. So there's going to be, expect to see a lot of action tomorrow on the news of that. And, you know, today there was kind of a wait-and-see approach, by the way. We did see some strength in Intel. You mentioned that already. We also saw some weakness, though, in retail stocks. Lowe's came out with a profit warning at the beginning of trading, and although Lowe's actually managed to trade higher in the day, we saw a number of stocks like Walmart, which was off by close to 5%. We actually saw Home Depot, the rival for Lowe's, which is a home improvement retail center here in the U.S. Home Depot was actually off more than 3%. We did see strength in financials. You mentioned J.P. Morgan. On the other side of financials, we saw some strength coming out of Lehman Brothers and Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Those two stocks actually traded higher after getting some positive comments from Goldman Sachs, basically saying that the selling that's happened in the financial sector, now a lot of these stocks have traded lower over the past several months, is specifically overdone when it comes to Lehman Brothers and Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. And Lehman Brothers is up 8%. Morgan Stanley Dean Witter was up close to 5%. I want to mention one more sector that you want to keep your eye on here. Pfizer had their analyst meeting today and basically came out and said they look pretty good, that they expect to be able to meet analyst expectations over the next 2 years. They also say that they have 3 major drugs in their pipeline and that they expect them to be able to get FDA approval, which would be a huge boost for Pfizer. I believe Merck will be meeting with analysts tomorrow. So the financial sector looking strong, and we're seeing some strength beginning to build here in some of the pharmaceutical stocks, so you want to keep your eye on those as well. Deborah? Well, you know, that's really interesting, because if you actually talk to these guys longer than 5 minutes and we get away talking from what's happening with this presidential race, which has really dominated the headlines, you can really begin to get them to talk about how they're concerned about the fact that this economic slowdown might be happening too fast and that we might be heading into a recession. And you begin to hear that word more and more, and that, in fact, some people are saying, you know, the Federal Reserve is behind the curve, that we need to get an interest rate cut when they meet on December 19th. and they think that that could maybe head that off. But there is a lot of concern here, and you are beginning to see a lot of companies coming out and talking about some of the profit warnings that are ahead, including today we have Advanced Micro Devices after the bell, the computer chip maker warning that the fourth quarter is going to fall short for their numbers. They're blaming the shortfall on slowing demand in the personal computer sector. Not really surprising if they're a supplier and you hear Apple and you hear Gateway coming out and talking about a slowdown. Of course, it's going to trickle down and hit some of these chip makers. Dallas Semiconductor, a similar story. They're talking about Dallas missing their expectations by around, they're expecting now 34 to 37 cents. Wall Street was looking at 43 cents. So you see these are substantial problems. We've heard a lot of problems about online advertisers. Shares of Yahoo have just been decimated. In fact, they reached a new 52-week low today. DoubleClick, an online advertiser, seeing their shares slump in the regular session during trading. They also came out after the bell, Deborah, and talked about a slowdown ahead. They're going to now lose 2 cents, according to the company. They were actually looking and hoping to turn a profit. So there's still a lot of concern. Even if we get this presidential race, out of the way, are we going to see that year-end rally that a lot of folks are hoping for? Maybe, but there's also a lot of traders that I spoke to that say it might not happen. I'll toss back to you, Deborah, in Tokyo.
In the last 3 months, where we've flown 3 flights in that 3-month span. And these flights were challenging flights. This one in particular was a critical mission for us because we knew we had to get those solar arrays installed and deployed. And so we recognized that we were going to have some challenges. And sure enough, we did have a few challenges that were overcome by the team, and they were done in a very fine fashion. We had all the engineers come together and the operators come together and discuss what we could do with what we saw was an off-nominal situation, and put a good plan together, not only to unfurl the second solar array in a very cautious manner, but also to go back out and get the tension right on the first solar array. So I think folks are very excited that the mission went so well, very, very successful. And I think, to sum it up, it's a good way to end this year. Very successful 5 missions. A lot of confidence is in the air, and we're really going into the Christmas season with a great spirit. And I think one way to sum it up is to say, in anybody's ballpark, this mission was really a home run.
And as we get ready now for next year, the first mission, sts98, a flight of Atlantis, scheduled for launch in mid-January, or targeted for launch in mid-January, was scheduled to roll out today from the vehicle assembly building to the launch pad at the Kennedy Space Center. I understand that rollout was delayed due to an issue that needed some work with one of the solid rocket booster attachment points. Could you explain that and what the situation is with that at present?
As we fly each one of these flights, part of our process is to look at the hardware and how it functioned after each flight. When we get the boosters back in port, we look at them very carefully. And part of our process is to look at these pyrotechnics that should fire. And as we did that this time around, we noticed that 1 of 2 pyrotechnic devices did not fire on the left-hand SRB on the lower strut. Now, this is the first time we have seen this in the life of the program. Now, it's 1 of 2, which means that we were perfectly safe. We built in the redundancy, and so you only need 1 of 2 to fire to separate properly. But what concerns us is that we don't like going into a mission knowing that perhaps we have lost 1 leg of our redundancy. as we have investigated this, the folks have narrowed it down to looking at a particular cable, and it looks like we've had some damage in the cable that would have fired this particular pyrotechnic device, and it appears that this is the cause that it did not fire, as we had the damage in the cable. Now what we're off looking at is trying to determine what did cause the damage. That's going to take a little bit of time to understand what the root cause is. And you need to really understand what the root cause is so we can develop a plan of action to verify that we have a good integrity on the vehicle that's in the VAB, sts97, before it rolls out to the pad. So what we elected to do was just to delay rollout for a couple of days to give the team a little bit more time to understand what the root cause might be. That would also preserve the option to do some of the work in the VAB, which may be the best place to do it. We think we can do some of the work on the pad or all of it at the pad, but until we really understand what the root cause is, it may be that the best place to do the work is in the VAB. So we've given the team a few days. We're not rushing them, but we asked them to define what the root cause is and then develop a plan that would verify that we have full integrity on our cables and our circuits on sts98, the vehicle that's getting ready to roll out to the pad. From an overall schedule point of view, we know that we have a little over a week that we can delay before we start getting into some crunches on the launch or scheduled date for sts98 in mid-January. And so we're going to take a few days this week. We've announced a 48-hour delay, and it may take a little longer than that. We're going to see how the team comes together. They are developing some plans to do some x-rays of the cables that are in the vehicle right now, and we'll have to see how all that turns out. So it could be a few days and before we really know what the impact is on the schedule, but we do know that we have a full week before we start getting really tight.
And then the next mission planned in 2001, Discovery on STS-102. I know that when Discovery returned from its last flight on STS-92, it didn't have as good a weather in Florida as we encountered tonight for Endeavor's return, so it was delayed to some degree by going to the West Coast and then having to be ferried back. And I know that you said you'd watch that schedule as we progress toward the processing flow. How is that doing for a February launch at this point for Discovery?
Well, you mentioned the right thing, and that is by landing at Edwards, it did complicate the schedule a little bit. We normally factor in a 6-day margin there for landing at Edwards and getting back to the Cape and getting processing started. Took us a little longer this time, a few days extra, and so that got us a little bit behind the power curve. What also complicated our processing was that we found 4 thrusters that need to be replaced, 2 of which got some water in them on the ground, and the water was in there such a period of time that we're going to have to change those thrusters out. And then the other 2 thrusters had some chips in the throat area, which will require us to change those out also. It's our policy and procedure that when we change a particular jet out, we change all the jets on that particular manifold. And we've learned that through experience. If we don't do that, then we have some probability of some risk of having leaking jets on the following flight. So we know that from experience that we should change out all jets on a particular manifold. If we change out one, we change them all out. So that means even though 4 jets need to be replaced, we're going to have to change out 10. And that's going to impact our schedule. When we change out these jets, it means we have to do escape operations. And that will prevent some normal processing work in the aft end of the vehicle. And as we looked at the schedule and what we had to do in front of us, it was already a tight schedule to meet the middle of February. Adding this additional complication of changing out the jets and the escape operations only puts us further behind. So I've had have the folks looking at how much margin we have in the schedule, and they're going to come and brief me tomorrow. On Wednesday, the 13th, and talk to me about processing schedule. They're going to talk to me about the training of the flight control teams and if there's any benefit of having a little bit of a delay just to see if we can get in a better posture for training. We're going to talk to the station management and understand how they are as far as their cargo element readiness to support the middle of February. And we're going to review all those things, but I know right now that it looks, just on the scheduling and processing point of view, it looks to us like we should expect some delay coming out of that meeting. We won't define that delay until Wednesday, but coming out of that meeting, I would expect to announce that we would have some delay of some sort. It may be a week, it may be 2, but we'll have to just see what the team has by way of margin and then make a judgment from there.
And with that potential delay in the STS-102 flight, that mission is the ride home for Station Commander Bill Shepard and the Expedition 1 crew, the 3-member crew, and their relief team that goes up on that flight, the Expedition 2 crew. How critical is the timing in that? What is the impact of a launch delay on that flight?
Well, we know the rotation likes to be in a range anywhere from 100 days to 180 days maximum. And they desire us not to go longer than 180 days maximum. Based on where we had STS-102 scheduled in the middle of February, we know that there's about 65 days between the middle of February and the 180-day maximum that they'd like us to set as an upper limit. So if we delay several weeks, that's still well within 180-day maximum, and it gives us roughly 2 months that we can work on our problems and our schedules before we get anywhere close to the 180-day maximum. So we have lots of time to go up and do the crew exchange. But as I was mentioning to you earlier, we really don't expect a large delay. We're only talking here just a few weeks is what I suspect will come out of the meeting. So that's going to be minor delay and well within the margin that we have available.
And as I said before, we're capping the year for the shuttle program with the landing tonight on flights. In 2001, we'll have more flights planned in it than we've flown in 1 year, 1 calendar year in quite a while, with 8 flights and 6 flights that really continue a very rapid assembly pace on the station. What's the mood going into 2001, and what type of year are you looking for in that year?
Well, because of this success of these 5 flights, we really are riding the high point of the wave. So it's a great way to finish the year, and coming back in January and getting started in flying STS-98 on time is going to be another big boost to us. I mentioned several times before that the next several flights will really tell how well we'll be able to process these vehicles in a fairly fast fashion. So STS-98 and STS-102 and then followed by STS-100 will tell us how well prepared we are to do fairly short flows, less than 80 days, around the 65 to 70 day OPF flow. So I think we're in as good a position as we can be to do those flows. We do expect that everything is not going to go just by the numbers, so we're going to have to remain flexible. There may be some delays from time to time. We're going to have to also consider what may happen on missions and what we may want to fold back into the future missions and do some replanning if we have a particular hardware failure or want to take up some more logistics. We'll have to factor that in and just be real flexible on both the manifest and the schedule. Although I don't anticipate any delays right now, I've talked to you about STS-102. I would expect that because that vehicle may be delayed a couple of weeks, it'll translate into a similar delay for the follow-on mission on that particular vehicle of a week or 2. So I wouldn't get too set on a particular time for these launches. There may be a few days delay, but overall, I think we're in a really good posture to fly these flights to station next year. Now, we also have 2 flights scheduled on Vehicle 102. And as you know, 102 was scheduled to come back in the November timeframe of this year, and it's been delayed until to the end of February. And that will impact the flights that have been manifested on the 102 vehicle. And we don't think that we'll be able to fly a flight with OV-102 until later on in the fall, perhaps mid to late fall. We have a significant number of significant amount of work that probably will need to be accomplished when we bring it back. Not that all the work couldn't get done at Palmdale. It's just we've elected to do some of the work back in Florida because that'll be the most expeditious way to do it. So that will delay flying any missions on OB-102 until the late fall. So it's a little disappointing that we won't get the 2 missions planned into the year. I think we probably will get 1 of the 2, and we'll just have to see how we recover from there.
And schedule aside, though, 2001, the missions that we're looking at in 2001, how would you characterize those that are ahead of us?
Well, I think that every station flight's going to be a flight of first, and they're going to be challenging and complex. But I think one thing that we've
I play this game to win championships. And I truly feel that this team is very, very close to competing for the Stanley Cup. And that's why I'm back, to help these guys achieve our goal, which is every year we come. I think most of you know that I play this game to win championships. And I truly feel that this team is very, very close to competing for the Stanley Cup. And that's why I'm back, to help these guys achieve our goal, which is every year we come to training camp is to win the Stanley Cup. And I feel that we're very, very close. I do believe that we need some experience down the stretch, especially in the playoffs. I do believe we need the right mix of older players and young players, and I think we have that here in Pittsburgh. We're one of the most talented teams in the National Hockey League, and I think that we can be a great team for many, many years to come, and I'd like to be a part of it.
Lemieux starting out. Penalty back to the players. Recchi was knocked down. Lemieux dances in and scores!
You really don't need a game plan when you've got a guy like Mario Lemieux.
feel that being 35 years old is not too late. I've been away since I was 32, 31 years old, but I still feel that I have a lot of great hockey left in me. I think most of you know that I play this game to win championships. And I truly feel that this team is very, very close to competing for the Stanley Cup. And that's why I'm back, to help these guys achieve our goal, which is every year we come to training camp is to win the Stanley Cup. And I feel that we're very, very close. I do believe that we need some experience down the stretch, especially in the playoffs. I do believe we need the right mix of older players and young players, and I think that we have that here in Pittsburgh. We're one of the most talented teams in the National Hockey League, and I think that we can be a great team for many, many years to come, and I'd like to be a part of it.
Lemieux starting out. A penalty back to the players. Recchi was knocked down. Lemieux dances in and scores!
You really don't need a game plan when you've got a guy like Mario Lemieux.
I feel that being 35 years old is not too late. I've been away from the game since I was 32, 31 years old, but I still feel that I have a lot of great hockey left in me.